Henry VIII, the king who made marriage into a blood sport. 6 wives, 2 beheaded, 1 died, 1 divorced, 1 survived. Sounds like a grim nursery rhyme, doesn't it? But behind the palaces, the pearls, and the politics, Henry's bedroom was more terrifying than his throne. Before we peel back the velvet curtains, do yourself a favor. Hit subscribe, because trust me, you'll want company as we step into this royal nightmare. Let's start with young Henry. Before the gout, before the belly, before the wives lined up like sacrificial lambs, he was handsome. Tall, athletic, golden hair, women swooned. But Henry wasn't just charming. He was obsessive, possessive, dangerous. His court was filled with dancers, musicians, and courtiers who knew one thing: if the king's eye fell on you, your fate was sealed. Refuse him, you risked charges of treason. Accept him, you risked his wrath when he grew bored. Either way, you lost. And oh, Henry grew bored fast. He craved the chase. He loved testing boundaries. He even forced servants to spy on ladies at court, reporting who flirted, who smiled, who blushed. For Henry, it wasn't about love. It was about control. By the time Catherine of Aragon, his first queen, was no longer bearing him sons, Henry's lust turned into cruelty. He humiliated her publicly, parading mistresses, whispering in banquets, making Catherine sit through gossip about her own failings as a wife. Imagine being queen and treated like the warm-up act. Then came Anne Boleyn, sharp, witty, ambitious. She gave Henry exactly what he wanted at first. But Henry's desire was a double-edged sword. The more he lusted, the more paranoid he became. Anne resisted him at first, refusing to be just another mistress. That only fueled him. He spent years chasing her, rewriting religion, tearing England from the Pope's hand, all to get her into his bed.
But once she was his wife, the terror began. He expected constant obedience, endless fertility, and no complaints. When Anne gave him a daughter instead of the longed-for son, his lust soured into fury. The very passion that lifted her up now dragged her to the scaffold. Accused of adultery, incest, and witchcraft, charges so absurd they were practically comedy, she lost her head. Literally. Henry's bedroom whims had become state executions. And then Jane Seymour. She was quiet, obedient, the perfect antidote to Anne's fire. But Henry's perfect wife paid the price in childbirth. She gave him his son, Edward, and died 2 weeks later. Henry mourned her, yes, but he also called her his true wife, as if the others were just rehearsal corpses along the way. Anne of Cleves? Henry ordered her portrait before marriage, painted by Hans Holbein. When he saw her in person, he called her a Flanders mare. He mocked her looks so viciously that the marriage was annulled in 6 months. But here's the terrifying twist. Anne survived. Because Henry didn't desire her, he didn't need to kill her. Catherine Howard wasn't so lucky. Barely a teenager, spirited, naive. Henry, now obese and stinking of ulcers, wanted her as his new jewel. But Catherine had her own past, flirtations, youthful affairs. When rumors reached Henry, his lust snapped into rage. Catherine was dragged from her bed, screaming for mercy, before being executed at the Tower of London. And Catherine Parr, the survivor. Clever, cautious, more nurse than lover. She outlived Henry, but not without scars. She learned one truth: the closer you were to his bed, the closer you were to death. Henry's sexual practices weren't just about flesh, they were about power. His desire could topple queens, rewrite laws, split churches, and send heads rolling. He turned lust into policy, fantasies into blood. So next time you hear about Henry VIII's 6 wives, don't think romance. Think of a king whose bedroom was more dangerous than his battlefield.